Welcome back to Sunday Morning Champion. Yes, another edition of Sunday Morning Champion. Please like and subscribe below. Please feel free to leave a comment. Lots to talk about today. Virgil got another impressive knockout victory. He is the new Triple G of the smaller weight classes. 130 is on notice, and he's looking like about the best 130-pounder in the world right now. Love to see him fight Tank Davis. Martin Murray took a wide decision over Roberto Garcia in a fight that no one really cared about. Murray looked pretty good in that fight, winning a wide decision. But the 140-pound division is top of mind, and that's what we're going to talk about today. That's what we're going to devote today's show to. Two young 140-pounders took the shine last night. Josh Taylor took a wide and totally bogus decision over Victor Postal. It wasn't bogus in the sense that we don't think Taylor deserved the win. It was a good competitive fight. We actually did score it for we scored it for Josh Taylor by a score of 116 to 111, 8 rounds to 4 for Taylor, with a 2-point round coming in the 10th round. That was the round of the knockdown. And that's wider than anyone else we spoke to. We've spoken to a lot of people in the boxing community, a lot of pundits, a lot of other YouTubers and things like that. And we've heard scores of 114 to 113 and 115 to 112 is pretty much all we've heard. We scored at 116, 111. So that stands to reason that the correct score of this fight is in the realm of 116 to 111 to 114, 113. Yeah, for Taylor, really good fight. The 114, 113 means that the knockdown is the difference. Otherwise, it was 6 rounds to 6. We scored at 8 to 4. There are a couple swing rounds. 114, 113 is reasonable to us too. That's scoring the close rounds for Postal, which is fine. The judges scored the fight 119 to 108, all the way down to 117, 110. 119, 108. The judge, and I forget his name, gave the first round to Postal, meaning he gave rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He gave all the other rounds to Josh Taylor. That's not really reasonable. I mean, you can't tell me the second, third, fifth round, he didn't win any of those rounds, but that's what we got here. So that leads us to one thing, that Victor Postal, a former world champion, really good fighter, had absolutely no chance of winning that fight via knockout. And he's not a big puncher. Yeah, he did knock out Matisse a couple of years back. But Postal is not known for his punching power. He's a technically sound boxer who gives you different looks, different angles, but he's not a knockout artist. So he really had no chance of winning that fight last night because he wasn't going to win a decision. Because we saw all the judges score all the close rounds and rounds that weren't close for Josh Taylor. And again, we're not saying that Josh Taylor didn't deserve to win. He did. We scored it for him. We scored it to him 8 rounds to 4. So we thought he won the fight convincingly. But when you show me scores of 119, 108, 118, 109, that tells me all of the close rounds, you've already decided in your head that they were all going to go to Taylor. He's the bigger star. He's the bigger name. There's more to, there's more riding on Josh Taylor's shoulders with the win. He can carry more money, make more money. He can carry more workload than can a 34-year-old Victor Postal, who's been highly inactive over the last 2 years since losing to Terrence Crawford. That's all that tells me, is that Postal never had a chance of winning a decision in that fight, and he wasn't going to knock Josh Taylor out. He's just not that kind of fighter. So he might as well not have shown up, and that's a shame. We also saw on an ESPN card Virgil Ortiz of Dallas, Texas, absolutely destroy Jose Carlos Salgado in 3 rounds. Dropped him with a vicious left hook to the body. Just a devastating hook. That's going to rival what Earl Spence did to Ocampo for knockout of the year. One of the best body shots you're going to see. And remember, Salgado's no scrub. He's not a bum. He beat Jorge Linares, somebody, a fighter that many ranked pound for pound in the top 10 before he lost to Lomachenko and gave Lomachenko a heck of a fight before losing via a body knockout. So Salgado is no bum, a former world champion who's beaten some good names, and Virgil Ortiz absolutely took this kid apart. This all leads me to one conclusion. Virgil Ortiz would beat the snot out of Josh Taylor. Taylor's typical advantage is his size and reach. Well, he'd be shorter in both height and reach than Virgil Ortiz, so he wouldn't even have that advantage over the Dallas Texan. Other than that, there's no advantage. Ortiz is faster, he's stronger, he hits harder. We don't know about his chin yet, because look, I think Taylor's power is a little overrated. I mean, you saw him hit Postales clean as a whistle, time in, time out. He did drop him in the 10th, but Postale took most of those shots pretty well. And this is the first time we really saw him with a world-class fighter. I do want to see Virgil Ortiz chin get tested because, again, Ortiz is hittable. You know, he's not Floyd Mayweather out there, although he's a very good fighter. He is a guy that can be hit. But Taylor, out of that southpaw stance, lines up perfectly for Virgil Ortiz's right hand, and that's I know he scored the knockout with the left hook to the body, and that's a great punch. But Virgil Ortiz got heavy hands, and his best punch is a straight right hand, which lines up perfectly to knock out Josh Taylor, and I think that's what we'd see. I think Ortiz would keep Josh Taylor at a distance with that right hand. You saw Postale being able to keep Taylor at the distance, and he does not have any type of the same power that Virgil Ortiz has. I'm telling you right now, Virgil Ortiz's power at 140 with his size and his length, he's 5'10", which is big for 140, is special. He's going to develop into a 147-pounder at some point, but right now, at 20 years old, 5'10", 70-inch reach, Virgil Ortiz is going to be real dangerous at 140. We're going to go over that division and how that's changed over the last 12 months or so, and get into that a little bit more. But let us know if you think I'm crazy that Virgil Ortiz could outbox Taylor from a distance, keep him at range, and eventually knock him out with the overhand right. We really weren't impressed with Josh Taylor. Thought he was okay. We saw some things that we like, but at no point did we think, yeah, that's the world beater, that's the future of the division. We do see that in Virgil Ortiz. Like I said, he's got a real long jab, a nice jab, can keep you at range. He's really long, and then that right hand is dynamite, and the left hook to the body, obviously. Knocked out Salgado, who was a really good fighter, or was a really good fighter, is still a legitimate opponent. So let us know what you think. If it's way too soon to know how good Virgil Ortiz is. He is 10-0, 10 knockouts. Hasn't fought the best level of competition. Hasn't had his chin tested yet. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment. Leave your thoughts below. And the other thing is, Taylor does not fight well. Taylor fights well on the inside. We don't see him getting to the inside without eating a lot of shots from Virgil Ortiz. And eating a Virgil Ortiz shot is not the same as eating a shot from Postale. So keep that in mind as well. More over the 140-pound division as a whole is currently going under a youth movement. A lot of change going on in that division. The guys we thought would dominate the division either aren't there anymore, just got beat. But Bud Crawford obviously vacated all the titles. He had all 4 belts. He left to go to 147, where he beat Jeff Horn and captured the WBO. So he's no longer in the mix at 140. Omar Figueroa is MIA. We don't know what happened to Omar Figueroa. He was supposed to fight Broner, and Figueroa is again missing in action. And that's a shame because we like Figueroa. Both him and his brother Brandon, Texas products out of the Valley. Really good fighters. And Figueroa could be a beast in this weight class. We saw him go up to 147 and beat the heck out of Robert Guerrero. At 140, his power is special. And we would like to see him fight again. It's been almost a year since we saw him last fight. I believe he fought in Long Island in New York for some reason. Don't know why they had him fight in Nassau County, Long Island, but that's besides the point. He got a DWI or something back in February, I believe, maybe January, and we haven't heard from him since. He got injured or something. We don't know what's going on with Omar Figueroa. If you're in the Valley, in the Rio Grande Valley in Texas, and you've seen Omar Figueroa, let us know where he's at, because we'd love to see him fight again. We think he can easily win a world title at at 140. Division looks good, and we'd love to see him be a part of it. Adrian Broner, we thought was going to fight at 140. He said that anyone can come see him at 140. He's been fighting at catchweights, and now not fighting at all, saying he's going to retire. We don't know if he's going to come back or not. We predict that he will, but that's just a prediction. And if he does come back, we don't know what weight class it's going to be at. He's fighting at catchweights. The money fights are at 147. We don't think he can win any of those fights. 140 is a better bet. Could he make 135? We did a show on that. Check out Friday's show where we talked about if Broner, who weighed 138 for the Mikey fight, could drop 3 extra pounds and get down to 135. I don't know. We don't know what weight class Broner is going to be in, or if he's going to fight again, or what his mental state is. So again, keep your prayers with Adrian Broner. And then Julius Ndongo and Victor Postal, 2 names that we thought would be around the title conversation at 140 pounds for a long time to come. They are no longer relevant. Although we think Postal could get back in the mix. If he can't beat Josh Taylor, we don't think he's going to beat any of the champions there. We wouldn't pick him to beat Hooker, Ramirez, definitely not Prograis. We don't know. I think Postal could make a run again. Can he get to a world title? Can he captain the world title at 140 pounds? I don't know. That's yet to be determined. And Ndongo looked shot. I mean, 2 vicious knockouts in a row. Crawford ended his night with a body shot, and then we saw what Prograis did to him. I mean, Prograis beat him into irrelevancy. Prograis did an absolute number on Ndongo, who we really liked. We thought when Terrence Crawford left to go to welterweight, that the junior welterweight division was going to be Ndongo's for the taking. And Prograis ended that in amazing, incredible fashion. So you're going to have to get used to new names now. Postal's out of the picture at 140, and Ndongo's out of the picture, who held 2 belts, and Crawford went to 147, and Broner and Omar Figueroa, who were supposed to fight each other, have completely disappeared. The following names are what we're going to get used to. Well, you better get used to hearing at 140. They're all under 30, and they're all either world champs or on their way to becoming world champs. That's Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis, Mighty Mo Hooker, Jose Carlos Ramirez, and Virgil Ortiz, as well as Kirill Relic. They're all unbeaten besides Relic. They're all under 30. Relic has 2 losses to Ricky Burns and to Rances Bartolome, a loss that he overturned, and he came back and beat Bartolome convincingly. Really good fighter, really skilled fighter. We're not sure where that fits in or if there's any unification fights for him. But this is a division where everyone except for him is unbeaten, and they're all fairly young. So if they want to stay put at 140 and not go to 147, which is loaded, we can produce a lot of fireworks in the 140-pound division. Like we talked about Josh Taylor, we talked about Virgil Ortiz and Relic. The other names there, Mighty Mo Hooker, also out of Dallas. A potential fight with him and Virgil Ortiz. Let's do that in Dallas. That would be a great fight. Hooker is long. He's coming off a great performance in an upsetting Terry Flanagan, a fight that everyone picked Flanagan to win in, including us, and we're from Dallas, and we're like, that's a bad fight for Hooker. Hooker fought brilliantly. That would be a great fight. That fight with Hooker and Ortiz, I'm sure they know each other, being both from Dallas, would fight each other in the center of the ring, that high-speed chess match at a distance, landing lots of power shots. That would be a real good fight. Will we get it? I don't know. We also have Jose Carlos Ramirez, the former Olympian, who has 2 great wins in the division. He's got wins over Amir Imam and, yes, indeed, Reed. He's a good fighter. He probably, honestly, has the best resume with those 2 wins. Prograis has the knockout over Ndongo, but Ndongo had just been knocked out viciously before that, and I don't think he fought in between the Crawford fight and then getting knocked out again by Prograis. Jose Carlos Ramirez, yes, he's very young. He was an Olympian, but he's a really good fighter, and he's got a good resume. And then, of course, there's Virgil Ortiz in that division as well. The star of the division, the star in the making of that division, is 29-year-old WBC interim champ Regis Prograis. He's got the one-punch power. He's got the gift of gab. He's fighting a homecoming fight coming up in his hometown in New Orleans. He's based out of Houston now, but obviously he's from New Orleans. That's the one to watch. Regis Prograis can't help but be an entertaining fight, and he's constantly pressuring, constantly forcing the attack. He's got excellent boxing skills too, by the way, but he's constantly coming forward, constantly on the attack. And with the names Josh Taylor and Virgil Ortiz in that division, and watching him also, if he got a fight with Mighty Mo Hooker, his come forward style against those bigger, longer fighters would be really entertaining. Those would be can't miss fights. Anything that Prograis is in with his power and his come forward style is going to be a great fan friendly fight. I'm a big Regis Prograis fan. Let him get past this little tune-up fight he's taking at home, and I'd like to see him fight either Hooker, Taylor. If Figueroa ever resurfaces, that's ultimately the fight we want to see. And then, let Virgil Ortiz get some wins, build him up a little bit. But ultimately, the fight that we think the best fight at 140 would be Regis Prograis and Omar Figueroa. Should Figueroa ever resurface, our prayers are with you. Hope everything's going well, Omar Figueroa. But that's the fight. Two tremendous action fighters, big power punchers who are always pressing for the knockout. That's the one we want to make at 140. So the 140-pound division has changed a lot since in just the last 12 months. There's brand new names, young fighters, mostly unbeaten fighters. Someone's always is going to have to go. These guys need to fight each other. And let us know below who you guys think is the best 140-pounder, who the best young 140-pounder is. Like, we think that title right now, Prograis and Figueroa are the best in the weight class. But at some point, that title is going to be Virgil Ortiz. And maybe 3 years from now, 4 years from now, we get a changing of the guard where Ortiz and Prograis fight, and that would be dynamite. But let us know who you guys think is the best fighter in the division and what you think is the best fight to be made in that division. If you think it's Taylor and Prograis or whatever you think it may be. Leave that in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe. And again, this is 3D Boxing with Sunday Morning Champion, and we thank you for tuning in. Have a great week.
Enjoy 3D Boxing vlog videos? Show us some love by clicking the like button. Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3dboxingvlog.com is also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.